Right, welcome back everybody. Nice to have you in studio with us. Of course, you all know before the break we were talking about sailing, and you will know that recently we spoke to the guys from Tintin who were successful in the, came second place in the Lipton Cup, but of course that is success. Of course, Nitro managed to take the title, but we're going to talk now a little bit about the Tintin experience, and in studio with me I've got Chris Kindle and Morgan Teed. Chris, Morgan, nice to have you guys in studio. Right, so we just had a great conversation with Di and telling us about the Tintin experience in the Lipton Cup. Have you guys done this Lipton Cup for a long time?
It's my first one.
First time?
Well,
Yeah. And before you got on the boat with Tintin, what led up to that for you? Where did you start sailing? How long have you been sailing, Chris?
I started sailing when I was about 4 years old.
Yeah.
On little optimists and dab jigs and little dinghies on dams and on dams. And then my father decided he wanted to teach himself how to sail, so he bought a dinghy, and we went from there to buying a keel boat to sailing across the Atlantic a couple of times, and then I decided to enjoy racing.
Sailing across the Atlantic a couple of times?
Yeah.
So you went from having a dinghy to sailing across the Atlantic a
Yes.
couple of times? All right. And Morgan, yeah, same question for you. How did it all start for you?
Jeez, I think my second birthday was on a yacht in Trinidad and Tobago, and with my family having a lot of connections with the sailing, it's grandparents sailed around the world nearly twice, and it's always been in my blood, really. I think I'm the only one in my family maybe to go into the racing sort of niche side of it, but that I've enjoyed sailing Hobie Cats, dab chicks, the smaller yachts, and yeah.
Is there a big jump from doing it socially to doing it competitively?
Not really. I think the group of people, the personalities, all very similar. So yeah, it's a very welcoming crowd where you can actually have a lot. You can take it very seriously, or you can take it as seriously as you want. It's your choice. How
important is that, Chris? We've spoken to Di Hutton Squire a couple of times. How important is that on the boat to have that sort of harmony, I suppose, in the team?
It's very important. It is, at the end of the day, it's a team sport. It's not just one person. So everybody has to work on it with each other, and you have to rely on the other people, because at the end of the day, it is still a dangerous sport. Yeah. One can get badly injured and possibly get lost overboard. So from that point of view, you rely on everybody, so it's quite important that you get on with everybody and work together, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. If you're doing well, it's even more fun. But if you're not doing well, it can still be a lot of fun. It's an all-round sport.
So is it one of those questions you got to get along with each other? It's not negotiable because your life depends on it. Or
exactly.
Is that a bit?
I think you all got to understand what your skill sets are, and you got to have the right communication to do the job.
Yeah.
And once you got that, then the personality sort of fits into place after that.
So when you talk about skill sets on a boat, what type of skills are you looking for? Do you need one guy who's good on ropes and another guy who's good on oars?
Yeah, it's a bit of a variety. I think mine is I don't touch a rope that controls the angle of the sail to the wind or anything like that.
Yeah.
My job at the very front of the boat is purely to put sails up and down and make sure that we can change direction going downwind. Yeah. So in that sense, the trimming job is not my speciality, if you will, but making sails go up and down, that sort of foredeck work, that is my speciality. When Chris on the other side, he is the downwind trimmer for making the boat go dead downwind as fast as possible. That's his skill set.
So how do you get to that? How do you get to being a specialist in this sort of, call it, category on the boat that Morgan's just mentioned now?
Generally what happens is you start off on a social level, and you learn from, let's call it the previous or the previous generation or the more experienced guys, and then they often, you rotate your position from one position to another. So you can be a sail upwind trimmer, a downwind trimmer, a helmsperson, main trimmer, spinnaker trimmer. So there's various positions, and then there's the halyard. So there's all these positions.
Yeah. Do you guys get recruited? I mean, do you get a phone call from Dyer the week before and say, look, I need a downhill trimmer?
Some boats do that. So they'll have a pool of people, and they'll have, say, 2 helmsmen, 2 trimmers, and whoever can make it, they'll pull in, and they'll have a number 1 and number 2. Other boats, you sail together all the time, so everybody knows on the boat what position you're in. We for this regatta, we were only Di and myself are from the original normal team that sail every now and all the time. Then we had 4 guys that came in that wanted to do the Lipton campaign that spoke to Di and said, can they use the boat? And we said, well, Di and I sailed with them. And that's how the Lipton Challenge this year evolved or happened for us.
So Tintin came second in this race, massive achievement. We know that the boat itself has had amazing success, and we know that Nitro, and you guys were going head to head with Nitro. We've just spoken to Aaron Long, of course, who was on the boat there and one of the title holders. But what is it that contributed, would you guys say, to the success of Tintin, that you ended up in the second place? What was it? Was it teamwork?
There was a fair amount of preparation that went into the boat.
Yeah.
Just getting it race ready. There was a fair amount of practicing that we did on our own as well. So we would go out in those cold weekend days and go and practice for a couple of hours. And we actually saw Aaron and Nitro out there a couple of times as well.
Were you guys spying on them?
No, they were too far away. But I think we had an unofficial a little speed test every now and then if we were in the right area of the water.
You guys, what comes next for you now? This competitive environment, do you look to build on this? Do you look to get to another competition? Or is it a question of, in sailing, it's batten down the hatches for a while and before you get back on?
Well, we're going into summer now, and summer's around the corner, and that will be the height of sailing in South Africa. Every team, every boat, every class, every club will be opening up and trying to bring as many sailors in as they can.
Yeah.
As for myself, I don't know. I think I'll probably stick to my boat similar to Tintin and maybe do a bit of Hobie sailing in that time period as well.
Similar to Tintin, is that the name of your boat? Do you
Sorry?
each have your own boat?
No, I don't. No.
All right. So from a sailing point of view, guys, congratulations to Tintin, Di, and Squire, to all of you guys. I think if you don't know it, you should know it now that you're making Western Cape extremely proud, and that we have got our focus on our athletes that are making us so proud. So, you should be going home and everybody should be flying the flag for you guys. So congratulations. Thanks for coming in studio. And we can't wait to find out more and get you guys back.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
There we go. All right, folks, there we go. Western Cape Sailing making us so proud. And, of course, Aaron Long and his team from Nitro. You're coaching the Optimist category, and you're taking 7 kids from the Western Cape to the Seychelles.
That's correct, yeah. So we were meant to leave next week Thursday. But we actually found out yesterday that the event got postponed by a month, so we'll be leaving beginning of October. So there's 7 kids from the Western Cape, 2 girls who are 15, and the youngest we have 2 boys that are 11. We've trained through the whole winter, through storms, through rain. You would think the parents are crazy sending their kids into the weather that we were in. So we're going to Seychelles in a month's time to go.
But this is not something that happened overnight. If you're coaching these kids and you're on your way to an Africa Championships, this is something that you guys must have built up to over a long time.
Yeah, so hats off to the kids. They've been years in the making. They have to go through a selection process, and then they get selected. They got selected in probably about April, and then June we started training throughout. Every weekend, storm, rain, big waves, no waves, anything.
So how does that work for you as a coach? I know we've got about 30 seconds left, but does that mean you've got to get them all together and make all the arrangements and look after boats and play dad?
To an extent, I have a manager with us, but the parents are a big help as well. But we group them in one place. We've been training in Simonstown. I'm on a coach boat on a little rubber duck, and they're on their boat, and we go sailing for 5-6 hours a day, and try to get them as ready as possible.
What will be going through their minds now? These are 15-year-old children going to an international experience. They must be super excited.
No, they are super excited, but they are little young high-performance athletes, as good as they get.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are some of them that are competing in their first international event, so there are nerves, but I think they're more than ready to give it a bash, and I think we really do, especially from the Western Cape, have a really good possibility of doing well, in the girl category and boys categories. They sail together, but there are individual results at the end.
So that's absolutely amazing. When do you guys leave?
So we were meant to leave next week Thursday, the 12th, but we're probably going to be leaving on the 5th of October now to go there, prepare a little bit before a day or two, and then start sailing.
And you're sailing in the Seychelles and representing South Africa.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Congratulations, amazing stuff. We love hearing these stories, and we can't wait to find out how it goes.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Right, folks, that's a wrap from us. Wow, again, Western Cape Sailing just flying the flag, and not just locally, but also internationally. We'll see you after the break. Don't go away.